we're heading over to Fox News World, everybody's favorite world. Every Epic Fury. This is about this was an interesting one. It was the title that really caught my eye on this one. This was from 5 hours ago. It says Epic Fury latest. U.S. will return seized Iranian ship, Pakistan says. So that indicates some sort of like, I don't know why, because usually like these types of things would be viewed as like weakness by the U.S. administration. So I'm not quite sure why they would agree to that. Maybe this is one of those situations where Pakistan is like, you know, telling telling people like what they should do, and then America may or may not agree. I don't know. We'll watch this video and we'll all learn together.
All right, good morning. There are several new developments in the Middle East happening as we come to air on this Monday morning. How the U.S. is tightening its grip on Iran and also extending a helping hand to the global economy. So here we go on a Monday. Things are moving. I'm Bill Hemmer, live here in New York, and good morning.
Good morning. Always fun to start a week with you. Again, I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom. So we have lots of news.
I thought they were going to move after Mamdani got elected. I thought they were moving down to Florida. Or are they still doing in the Commie Corridor up in New York?
And more to get to you. So the U.S. maintaining its blockade of Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. It's turned away nearly 50 ships so far. The operation sending Tehran's economy into free fall.
So now the fight over that key shipping lane has wreaked havoc on commercial shipping as well. In response, President Trump has announced Project Freedom. This was on Sunday evening when the president did this on True Social, writing the following. We have told these countries that we will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so that they can freely and ably get on with their business.
And we're going to have much more on all this with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent.
So that was like yeah, I think a lot of that was market manipulation as well. Like, because it really wasn't anything that new. Like, it was, we are going to give you like directions through the strait so that you don't hit mines, I guess, is what the thing was. So I think that the primary purpose of that was to like, you know, boost the stock market, or to like lower the price of oil temporarily. I wonder what Brent crude is going for. Let me see. Crude. There we go. Okay. When was this? April 30th. Wait, that's not the latest. One sec. Oh, okay, here we go. This is what it looks like. So, where is May 4th? Okay. I wish I could just do, can I just do 1 day? 1 day. 1 week? 1 day. Okay, we'll stick with 1 day. Because it was kind of at the beginning of the day that it was announced that, oh, we're going to be escorting ships, which I think dropped it off, was my understanding. But I don't know. Anyway, let's see what the Muppet Scott Bessent has to say.
Ably get on with their business.
And we're going to have much more on all this with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He's sitting right here. But first, let's get to Lucas Tomlinson. He'll give us an update from Dubai. Hi, Lucas. Good morning.
Get wrecked, Scott Bessent.
Good morning, Dana. And an early sign of success for Project Freedom, the U.S. military Central Command said just a few hours ago, 2 U.S.-flagged merchant ships were successfully escorted out of the Strait of Hormuz by a pair of American destroyers. Now, Iranian claimed it fired a missile and hit one of those destroyers, something Central...
So they were Navy ships. Okay, I didn't know that they were actually, that they had done any escorts. So they escorted a couple American flag ships, I guess, for the propaganda narrative. Like, I think that's the only reason that they would have done it. Because they're not going to do this at scale, I don't think. But so they escorted a couple ships. Okay. And then Iran shot on one of them. According to Iran, hit them. According to America, didn't hit them. But already though, you're seeing the precarity of doing this like for everyone. Like, if you're like, you don't want to be doing this all the time. If you got hit already, just doing it once. Also, we're still technically in a ceasefire, so maybe Iran is avoiding using, some of their capabilities to try and protect their reputation as not being the aggressor. So, there's that too.
Command is refuting, writing in a post, quote, "No U.S. Navy ships have been struck. U.S. forces are supporting Project Freedom and enforcing the naval blockade on Iranian ports."
I don't trust
yesterday,
that.
at least 2 commercial ships were attacked transiting the Strait of Hormuz. A cargo ship heading northbound off the coast of Iran by small boats from Iran's Mosquito fleet. The other, an oil tanker north of the UAE by Iranian drones, an action condemned today by the UAE, saying it was one of their national carriers. And just before we got on air, Dana, we received an alert of potential missile attack from Iran here at UAE. Now, as hundreds of vessels remain stuck inside the Persian Gulf and off the coast of Oman, gasoline prices back home.
They're changing the narrative again to be like stuck, right? Like that's a new word that they're using, is like these ships are stuck over there. I think I'm assuming that's just to build up the narrative for like why they need to escalate in some meaningful way or something.
Or at or near 4-year high.
We gotta go break them out.
The Persian Gulf and off the coast of Oman, gasoline prices back home are at or near 4-year highs. Blocked fertilizer shipments also affecting farmers in an effort to get that traffic moving again, as you mentioned.
Oh, by the way, when I went to go to my parents' place to grill, they live kind of out in a rural area. And so their neighbors have like farmland and whatnot. But they were like talking about how it was weird that like their neighbors hadn't started planting their corn yet. Or I think it's corn that they usually plant. And yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, it's probably the fertilizer. It's probably the fertilizer price. It makes it impossible to do it. So, that was one of the few chances that I got to see, like, a potentially, we don't know for sure if that's the reason, but a potential like just real world effect of someone my parents knew or whatever of the war in Iran.
Project Freedom.
I also heard that like 70% of farmers were unable to plant their crops this year, which is like, yikes. Food prices are about to go through the roof.
Affecting farmers in an effort to get that traffic moving again. As you mentioned, Project Freedom to relieve the bottleneck from President Trump to restore freedom of navigation to the Strait. The plan doesn't currently involve U.S. warships escorting vessels through the Strait. However, as we just saw just a few hours ago, those 2 U.S. flagged ships were escorted by a pair of American destroyers. Now, Iran warned any American intervention will be...
Yeah, this segment right here is exactly why they did it. If they did actually send some Navy ships through to escort them. It's just so that they could get some sort of narrative out there that this succeeded.
Considered a violation of the ceasefire, and the U.S. security quarter is directing vessels to sail south of that traffic separation scheme, highway on the water essentially, and sail closer to Oman's coastline. Now, as negotiations continue between the U.S. and Iran, an act of apparent goodwill, Pakistan's foreign minister announcing today an Iranian cargo ship suspected of transporting military equipment seized by U.S. forces last month will be returned to Iran via Pakistan, as well as her 22 crew members. So the blockade of Iranian ports continues. The blockade's been in effect for 3 weeks now, Dana.
Well, that wasn't very much information. That's about as much information as I got from the title. But yeah, so I guess it's basically like this might be more initiated by Pakistan, if I had to guess, because Pakistan has been perceived by Iran, at least, to be aligning significantly more with American interests than Iranian interests. And as a neutral third party, they're supposed to, be neutral, right? So this may have been maybe Pakistan initiated asking the United States to do this as a gesture of goodwill. I don't really know, though. I would be curious if they actually go through. I would be curious if America actually goes through with it or not. I guess we'll keep an eye out.